Hello, everyone. I hope you can see me and hear me okay. We're going to give everybody some time to get here. I know we're a couple minutes early. So if you could just type in the chat box, tell me if you can hear me and see me okay, and tell me where you're from if you haven't already. Can you all hear and see me okay?
Hello, everyone. I hope you can see me and hear me okay. We're going to give everybody some time to get here. I know we're a couple minutes early. So if you could just type in the chat box, tell me if you can hear me and see me okay, and tell me where you're from if you haven't already.
Oh, I see a Mexico, Missouri. Oh, hi, Amy. We talked the other day by email. Great. Well, I have 726, so we'll give it a few more minutes. I know we had quite a few registered, and we have so much to cover tonight. I am super excited that you're all here. So let's see. We have, oh goodness, we have Tuscany, Italy, Texas, Missouri, Canada, a couple from Missouri, British Columbia, Michigan, New Orleans, Massachusetts, Michigan. My browser, I don't have it open. The only thing I have open is the Google Hangout. Let's see. I hope I don't lose you if I try this. All right, does that make it any better? Great. Cold North. It's pretty cold just about everywhere in the US, I think. It was negative 25 here last night. Everybody else can hear me. Let's see. If you look on the Google Hangout frame itself, there should be a little speaker icon, and try to make that a little bit louder. I never noticed that myself until I couldn't hear anyone on YouTube. Hello, South Africa, more Canada, California. Oh, perfect. Great. Thank you, Kay. Thanks for letting me know. Hello. Great. Okay. Oh, goodness. Stratford, Ontario. That's pretty well up there, isn't it? It's a little warmer today. It's in the 20s right now, but it feels like it's about 13. I refuse to leave the house, so I don't want to know how cold it is outside. It's just too cold for me. Hello, Wisconsin. Okay, let's see. We've got about 39 people here so far. That's awesome. Super hot in Sydney, Australia. I always get confused because it's so it's so confusing to me to think that you all in Australia have Christmas in the summertime. But you probably think it's weird for us to have it in the wintertime, so I guess we're even. Hello, Georgia. Don't mind my voice. I've been sick for a couple of weeks, and I just can't seem to get my voice back. I'm just starting to feel like a human again. So I apologize in advance if I stop to cough or clear my throat. Okay, I have 7:29. We'll give everybody a couple of minutes. 42 here. Okay, that's awesome. So those of you that have cold, do you have snow? I feel cheated because I feel if it's going to be this cold, it might as well snow, but we've not had any snow yet this year other than an inch or so. Okay, it's 7:30. So as I said, we'll give everybody a couple of minutes since we were scheduled to start at 7:30. I'll just tell you a little bit about me. I'm Sue, and I am the face behind Irreversibly Moi. I call myself the Chief Energy Officer of Irreversibly Moi, and I call myself that because I feel that my job is to help people to bring positive energy through their lives through art and art journaling. So, oh, Jean, I'm so jealous. You have snow. Oh, goodness. Of course, snow in Colorado. It's one state that I've only visited the airport, but I will get there. Okay, so as you see, I'm Sue from Irreversibly Moi. I'm from Missouri. I have lived here about 5 years. Before that, I'm a New Jersey girl, and somehow ended up in a very rural area in north central Missouri. I do love it out here, and it's just a little colder than I would have imagined, but we don't get nearly as much snow as we used to get on the East Coast. Okay, well, I think we're going to get started. Since the beginning, we're really just going to talk about kind of housekeeping, and then we're going to jump right into art journaling and how art journaling can help you heal, grow, and thrive. And we're going to cover a lot tonight. So we will have some time to stop and grab something if you need to, but there's a jam-packed hour with y'all tonight. So I hope you're going to have some fun. So as I said, I'm Sue, and I am the face behind Irreversibly Moi. As I mentioned, I call myself the Chief Energy Officer because I feel that my job is to help people to bring positive energy through art and art journaling. So I've studied art and art journaling through both major and minor artists and a lot of different modalities. I do have a certification in art and healing exercising. It's actually called Art Abundance. And I've also studied a number of other modalities under very well-known art therapists and some very little-known art therapists too. So while I'm not a psychologist, and I certainly don't purport to be, I do and have done art and used art for art healing for quite some time, and most recently been doing it with some clients. So I really truly believe in the power of art to heal, as well as growing and thriving. So just a little bit about what we're going to cover tonight. We're going to start and we're going to talk about how art journaling can help you, as I mentioned, grow and heal and thrive. We're briefly going to discuss various forms of art journaling and how color affects us. We'll do 3 art exercises so you can understand how art has the tools and is a vehicle to healing, and have a Q&A session. And then finally at the end tonight, we're going to give away a box of art supplies to somebody on tonight's webinar. So yay for free art supplies. Pardon me. Okay, well, I did warn you in advance. I'm getting over being sick, so it's a good thing you can't get germs through a computer. So if you could just type in the chat box and tell me how many of you art journal now. You're already practicing art journaling. I'll give you a few minutes just to type that in the chat box. There's, if you haven't been on a webinar before through Google Chat, there's about a 15-second delay, and from when I say something until you actually hear it. So, can y'all hear me? Are y'all still there? Can you hear me? Okay, great. So if you art journal, then go great. Just tell me in the chat box if you do. If you're new to it, great. If you're old hat at it, that's still terrific. I think you'll still get something out of tonight. All right, awesome. Great. Perfect. Okay, great. So we have a good mix of people between some folks that haven't done it before, some that are new to it, and some that have been doing it for some time. Great. Art journaling is simply a visual journal. It can be all art, or it can be a combination of art and the written word. It can be hand drawn, it can be painted, it can be clippings from a magazine. There really are no rules. It can even be scribbles. It really is as personal to the individual as the individual themselves. No two art journals will ever be alike, even between the same person. One art journal that I do is going to be much different from the next one that I do. And some of that is because I'm exploring different feelings and emotions, and sometimes because I'm trying different techniques, and sometimes because I'm using different art exercises to help pull some things out of me that I want to uncover a little bit more. So as I mentioned, there's no rules. If you want to use crayons, have at it. If you prefer paint, more power to you. But if you do use paint, I just recommend that you use a heavier bond paper. So something that's designed for art journaling or watercolor, or something that can hold the paint. I use 140 bond paper or the Delusions Art Journal. Those are my two favorites. But you can really use anything at all you want, even a composition notebook. And pardon me, I've even used a cookbook that I gessoed the pages on, and then went to town with the art on top of that. So much like a diary or a journal, an art journal helps you get it all out. You can use it for the written word. You can creatively get out your feelings and emotions, and it gives you the freedom to analyze what it is that you've created. Sometimes you're simply just doing it for the art techniques, but even if you are, if you take a step back and look at what you've done, you can often find some more hidden meaning to it. So look, well, why do I tend toward these colors? Or why do I tend to use a lot of circles in my art journal? And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we go through the night. But it will give you some freedom for introspection when you go back and you look at some of the art journal pages that you've already done. So you don't need instructions to art journal in any general way, but using an art, pardon me, guided art exercises can help you uncover and work through any issues that you may be having, help you make decisions, or even if nothing at all is bothering you, just help you get to know yourself a little bit better and help you for some personal growth. So sometimes I art journal and I'll follow the outline of a class that I'm taking, or sometimes I'll follow an art exercise, and other times I simply just grab paint and whatever else is in my reach, and I just go to town and I create. A lot of times using creative exercises, though, can help you look at things in a different way. So when you art journal, how do you do it? So type in the chat box if you've ever used creative exercises or art exercises for your journaling. There's quite a delay here. So have you ever used art exercises or creative exercises in your art journal? Okay, let's see. I'm going to share. Okay, somebody's having trouble finding the live feed. Okay. You don't know what I mean by that. Okay, and that's fine. Hopefully you will by the time we're done tonight. Okay. Well, I hope you're all game to get to try a couple art exercises, because we are going to do 3 tonight. Art journaling has been proven to help people who have PTSD or who are experiencing trauma. It's been documented to help with decision making and personal growth. And there's lots and lots of scripture, fabulous. Scripture is a great thing to art journal if you're so inclined, because it can really help you get deep into the word and understand it on a different level and to see how it relates to you. Great. Okay. But art journaling has, there's been a lot of theories for why art helps. And I'm going to share a few of these theories with you now. The first is that memories and emotions are controlled by the left side of your brain, and creativity is controlled by the right side. So studies have shown that when the two sides are able to communicate, we're better able to process the information. So theoretically, using both sides of the brain can help create more of a transfer between the two sides, so your left brain and right brain working together. By its very nature, art journaling allows the artist or the individual to express all sorts of feelings, even if they're complicated. You might find that when you're angry, you tend toward using more blacks and reds and other colors that would evoke a strong emotion. Third, it helps the artist or the individual to understand themselves better, and sometimes even the purpose of their life. It activates the creative side of the brain, which so many of us rarely use as much as we did when we were children. Art is a language in itself, so you can communicate across worlds of people, and you don't even need to speak the same oral or written language, but art is universal. And art can act like a vase to flowers. It's a place where you can put your thoughts and put your emotions. So kind of getting them out of you and onto paper in a structured way. So the art now has a way to make something expressive and express how you're feeling at any time. And sometimes you may not realize that you're feeling a certain way. And then when you go back and analyze what you've done, take a look at some of your older art journals or even the one you've just finished, and you're able to say, wow, really? I must have been angry, or wow, must have been in a good mood when I did that. So you can also use a wide variety of materials too. And those different materials can evoke different memories and smells to us that can trigger emotions that we've had when we were younger or at different times in our lives. We're going to try a very basic art journal exercise now. So if you'd like to, hello Blake, if you'd like to go ahead and grab paper, and if you want to grab just a couple of art supplies, feel free to grab anything. Colored pencils, paint if you like, anything at all that you're comfortable with. Or if you just want to sit back and listen to what we're doing, you're all going to receive a PDF tonight that has all of the art exercises we're covering step by step written out for you, so you'll be able to do them. So if you don't feel like getting everything out tonight, just feel free to just sit back and enjoy, and you'll still be able to do them on your own time. So when you're ready, just go ahead and type in the box, I'm ready, and we'll get started on the first one. We're still showing that we're live here. A couple people said that they lost connection. Let's see. Okay, great. Perfect. All right, I'm just taking a moment. A few people aren't able to get in, so I'm going to just send a couple invites here. Okay, you're ready. Great. Okay. All right. Now I want you to start by writing down on your paper, and you can use anything, your art journal, um, just a piece of watercolor paper, and write down all over the page all of the lies you tell yourself. So, you know what those lies are, that inner critic that's always complaining, you're no good, you're a bad mother, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I can't do anything right. You know that negative self-talk, right? Okay, so go ahead and just write it all down. Get it all out, write it all over the paper. It doesn't have to be neat, it doesn't have to be pretty. Just go ahead and get it all out. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Okay, now grab 3 to 5 colors of your favorite paint or gelato or markers or watercolor pencils, anything at all. Hi, Texas. Okay, awesome. Now paint over all of that negative talk or scribble over it with your gelatos. Cover your entire page with whatever colors you're drawn to right now. And as you cover them, tell yourself that all of those things that you wrote, none of this is true. I am beautiful inside and out. I'm the best wife, mother, friend, sister, employee that I can be. I'm talented. I'm creative. Go ahead and tell yourself all of the creative and wonderful, beautiful things about you that make you, you. And do that as you're covering up all of those negative thoughts. So take a couple of minutes to go ahead and do that. And once you're done, you can take this one step further. And you can use a marker or a pen that will write over whatever medium that you chose. And write that positive talk, those words you just shared with yourself about how wonderful you are and how strong you are and creative. You can write them over your colors. So you can take this out anytime you're feeling negative, anytime that inner critic starts to nag at you and say, oh, you can't do anything right, or why does this always happen? And go ahead and take that out and look at it and remind yourself that you are fabulous, you are beautiful, you are creative and talented and wonderful. And use that art journal page as a reminder for you. Now, if you didn't write your words over it, now you can just use that page as an art journal background for the next page that you do. So you've kind of covered up and gotten rid of, threw away all of that negative talk and filled it with color and love and self-love. And we're going to talk a little bit about self-love in a few minutes. Whenever you let your negative talk, that inner critic, whenever you give it attention, you're allowing canyon speak. And if you don't know what that is, it's think about a canyon. When you yell into it, it echoes back. You say hello, 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 hello. So when you say to yourself, oh, I'm no good, or oh, I suck at this, you're going to hear that echo back. I suck at this, suck at this, suck at this. I know it sounds crazy, but that's exactly what you're doing. So instead, if you tell yourself positive things and encourage that, get rid of that inner critic and tell yourself wonderful things, then that canyon is going to reflect positive things back to you. So try to remember that whenever you look at that art journal page or whenever you hear that inner critic start to jump up and nag at you. So if you've done this exercise, share in the chat box. How do you feel? Do you feel like you've released any of the weight? Do you feel that you tend to listen to that inner critic? Is there anyone that wants to share in the chat? Just go ahead and tell me anything that that you felt when you completed this exercise. No worries, Tammy. You're going to get the PDF, which will have all of the instructions for all of these anyway. And even those of you that are following along and doing the exercise tonight, you'll be able to redo them on your own time, maybe when you won't feel so pressured to complete so quickly. Anyone want to share your experience in doing this short exercise? Oh, Debbie, that's great to hear. When I first did this exercise, I really felt so symbolic that I was covering up all those negative emotions and feelings about myself and getting rid of them, saying goodbye to them. And not that they don't come back, they sure do. But whenever I look at that page, it reminds me that, you know, I'm my own worst enemy and you need to tell yourself good things. Awesome, terrific. Oh, I'm so glad to hear. Okay, well, let's try another one. Grab another piece of paper or another art journal page and draw, paint, sketch, doodle, anything any image that reminds you or that represents how you feel about yourself. Not what others say, but how you feel about yourself. You can use words too if you like. Absolutely. And I encourage you all to go through the exercises once you receive the PDF and try this again when you're not feeling so rushed to complete them. Sarita, I absolutely understand that. Absolutely. And yeah, you may need to try these a few times. And even if you spread them out and you do them one week and then try it again next week, your feelings and emotions are going to change. I was shocked at the difference in my own answers when I redid these exercises. So right now you should be finishing up your sketching or doodling about how you feel about yourself. Now what I'd like you to do is turn the paper over, or on the side of that one, I want you to draw pictures and images or doodles that represent how you convey yourself to others. How do you come across, or how do you think you come across to other people that you come in contact with? So take a few minutes to go ahead and do that. It's hard to get used to the lag here. I say something and know that you're not going to hear it for a little bit. So y'all just have to bear with me. And yes, you can see I'm actually in my art studio while we're doing tonight's webinar, so I feel continually surrounded by my happy place, my stamps and my stencils, my markers, my paints. This is my happy place. All right. Are you just about done? Did you draw those two? How the pictures that represent how you feel about yourself, and then the pictures of how you feel you convey yourself to others? When you're done, just go ahead and let me know you're done. I know you're not getting a whole lot of time to do these drawings tonight, but hopefully when you have the time, you'll go through the PDF and you'll try it again when you don't feel so rushed. Awesome, terrific. So I want you to take a look at these two different pictures that you've drawn. The doodles that represent how you feel about yourself, and the doodles that you feel represent how you convey yourself to others. Compare the two. Are they the same at all? What's different? Why do you think that is, that some are different? What can you do to change that? Do you think it's easier to change how you feel about yourself or how you convey yourself to others? Does anybody want to share their experience with this exercise? Just go ahead and share in the chat box. Okay, I'll give everybody a minute to catch up. Oh, different images because we put a happy face in front of others. Absolutely. Absolutely. Does anyone else want to share? What do you think is harder to change? How you feel about yourself or how you convey yourself to others? A couple people just mentioned that they don't know how they convey themselves to others. You may not be able to do that now while we're chatting tonight, but I'd encourage you to ask a couple of your friends or family and ask them. You may be surprised at their answers. It may be very different from how you feel you convey yourself or how you feel individually. I love this. Someone just commented that they drew a tree because they feel rooted and feels like they're branching out. I love that imagery. How you feel about yourself would be right. Okay, awesome. This is a great conversation. Terrific. I think it actually, for me, it's actually harder for me to change how I feel about myself because that has become so ingrained in who I am and that negative, inner critic telling me something. And I think sometimes that's a little bit harder to change your self-thought. And that's something that I'm trying to do through art exercises and help some clients do that as well because I think it all begins with how we feel inside. So how we go about our day and how we interact with other people, it's all affected by how we feel. So, okay, well, we're going to do one more, and then I'm going to show you an art journal page that I did and explain the art exercise behind it. If we have time, I'll actually do an art journal page for you to see. And pardon me. Okay, so let's try one more. Grab another piece of paper. And I want you to draw a line right down the middle of it. Do you have a decision to make? Maybe a life decision, perhaps it's having another baby or changing careers, getting married, moving. I don't know, what should I be when I grow up? If you have a major decision to make, think about that. Or even if it's a minor decision for purposes of our exercise tonight. So just think about what your decision is. Okay, and on the left, I want you to draw, and again, it could be a doodle, a scribble. This is for no one's eyes but you, what your life looks like now. Feel free to add words if you like. We're not looking for museum art. This is just your vision of your life as it is right now in this place and time. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. You are quite welcome. I'm so thrilled to do this webinar for you. I hope to be sharing a number of additional webinars over the coming months and each kind of delving into something a little bit different. Tonight we haven't gotten too much into art techniques, or not much at all, because we only have an hour. But if you go on the blog or on the website or follow us on Facebook, we do share lots of different art journaling techniques and methods and backgrounds. So chock full of good stuff there. Okay. Now, on the right side of the line, I'd like you to draw what your life will look like if you make the decision that you're considering making. Again, add words if you like. How would it look different from what your life looks today? So the left side should be, what does my life look like right now, tonight, Thursday, January 8th, 2015? And on the right, what would your life look like after you make this big decision? I'll give you a few minutes to do that. You're all being so quiet in the chat box. You must be busy drawing away. Now you should have both sides done now. So take a look at your drawings. Does your life look better or worse after you've made this decision? What do you notice? Does anyone want to share? Does the picture on the right give you any insight to help you make this decision, or why it would be a good thing or not a good thing? If anyone wants to share, feel free to do so in the chat box. This is kind of personal, so you don't need to share if you don't want to. Great. Kathy, I have that same decision. And boy, do we look good in that picture to the right, don't we? Awesome. Anyone else? If you can't make the decision, then there would be another art journal exercise or two that I could recommend for that. I will try to remember to share something like that in the coming weeks to help you make some decisions using art and art journaling. Yes, absolutely. Chaos to peace or peace to chaos. It depends on your decision in there. I see a few different people mentioning both. Okay. All right, so let's go back to your first art exercise tonight, the one where we wrote over our inner critic's negative nagging thoughts. I want you to stop and take a look at the colors that you used to cover up all the negativity. Oh, that's awesome. One of our guests mentioned that they saw something they hadn't considered before. Awesome. I love to hear that. Okay. All right. So do y'all know what colors you worked with on the first art exercise? Does anyone want to share what colors they worked with? Just go ahead and type it in the chat box. And while you do, I'm going to talk a little bit about colors. Colors have long been associated with our moods, and marketing gurus have forever been studying colors, and psychologists have studied colors and how they are associated with moods and feelings and emotions and memories. So there's several reasons why colors influence how we feel. We react on multiple levels of association with colors. There's social or cultural associations that we make, personal relationships. You also have an innate reaction to color. So for example, when you look at red, it has been proven to increase your heart rate. It's a stimulating color. It goes back to the caveman days of fire means danger, stay away, ouch, hot. We also have some learned associations with color, such as red making your heart race. It's been linked to what's red? Fire trucks, ambulances, fire hydrants. In other words, alarm. So red, we have the association of alarm. Or yellow, having a positive association simply because it's the color of sun, and sun is sunshine and happy and beach and nice warm days, different from what we have right now here in the United States. And as you get older, you become much more conscious of those learned reactions to color. So you might associate green with warmth and comfort because your grandmother's Afghan was green. So your memories and associations are going to be different than that of someone else's, because for you, grandma was comfort and warmth. Okay. So by using certain colors in our journal, either intentionally or unintentionally, you can positively affect your moods, your emotions, your feelings, and your personal connotations with those colors. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to just type in the answer. And there's no right or wrong. This is completely based on you and your feelings and connections. How does the color purple make you feel? So I'll give you a few minutes for the voice to catch up, and you can tell me. No worries, Janelle, just jump right in. We're good. We'll also have this recorded so you can watch the full thing after it's been done. So we are asking, how does purple make you feel? What emotions or thoughts and feelings does purple evoke for you? Happy, funky, wishful thinking, sunflowers or reds and yellows there, Not real good with purple, excited, happy, great. Well, I'm going to tell you what studies have shown that purple is associated with. Of course, we've heard purple in royalty, but also wealth, sophistication, wisdom, things that are exotic. Purple is also associated with the spiritual, prosperity, respect, and mystery. So if you used purple tonight, maybe without thinking of it, those are some feelings and emotions that you might have associated with yourself by using that color purple. Let's try another one. How does green make you feel? Or what does it remind you of? Money, of course. What else? Tell me what green reminds you of. Awesome. Such great responses here. I love how you guys are just coming from different perspectives with this. The same color. This is awesome. Okay. Yeah, see now, and Debbie mentioned that purple is the color of her work logo. So that's make the color purple invokes feelings of anger for her. Green is soothing, growth, money, yes. Golf course, awesome, growth, terrific. Now, if you used green in your picture, whether thinking about what the connotation was or not, green has been shown to convey things that are natural, cool, growth, as a few of you mentioned, money, health. Green has long been associated with health, envy, tranquility, harmony, calmness, and fertility. So I think those are all really interesting, and some I might have associated and some I might not have thought that green would have been intended to invoke feelings of. For example, fertility and health. But when you go back and you look at some logos of companies that are involved in those areas, many of them do show green. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll do an art journal page. So how does orange make you feel? Orange. What do you think of? What do you feel? What do you associate with the color orange? Waiting for y'all to catch up with the video. Happy, excited. Energetic, citrus, great, wonderful. So according to the experts, orange is associated with happy, energetic, excitement, enthusiasm, warmth, wealth and prosperity, which really surprised me, sophistication, change, and stimulation, which I can see on that one. So now that you know a little bit about how colors can impact our mood or emotion, do you think that'll change when you select colors to use in your art journal or your art? As part of your free PDFs for being here tonight with us on the webinar, one of the PDFs is about color theory, and it will give you a listing of what each color that studies have shown that the emotions and feelings they evoke. And then there's a bonus 7 color exercises for you to do. So you can dig a little bit deeper into a color and color theory, which I personally find fascinating, and really have gone back to some of my art journals and looked to see if what I was trying to convey or understand in my art journal really felt that way by the use of the colors, or was there a dichotomy? Was I trying to express something happy, but yet using colors that are more somber? So it's really interesting to take a look and analyze your own art journals. So, okay. So we're already getting to be about 8:15. So rather than go through an entire art journal tonight, I am going to show you what I did, and so that you can work on this yourself. I'm also going to send you a PDF with instructions on how to do this art journal. So if you've ever used the saran wrap technique, that's what I've used tonight. And if you'll give me 1 second, I'm going to grab an assistant so that I can show you exactly how we do this. Okay, great. I'm going to do this in my mini delusions book. I will send you all of the PDFs via email. If you were registered for tonight's email, then you're automatically on the list, and then I'll send you the recording as well as the PDFs. If you were not registered and attended just through the website, then you can send me an email to irreversiblemoi@gmail.com and just put webinar, and I'll go ahead and send you the PDFs that way. So I use my little delusions book when I want to practice the technique or just do a simple art exercise rather than doing a full spread. This looks a little crazy and a little sophomoric, but trust me when I tell you that we have a method for our madness. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is choose just a couple colors of paint. Okay, I just grabbed a green, a yellow, and a blue. I'm going to squirt some on a paper plate. This is what I'm using as my palette. I often just use a paper plate as a palette. And you can see I'm not using high quality paints. These are just the ones from Walmart. You can use anything that that works for you. Now I'm going to take a spray bottle. You can just drip water if you like. And I'm going to water down the paints. I guess about 10 squirts each. There's really no method to it. And I'll grab a paintbrush. And just mix up the colors a little bit. You want them very watered down. I'm not being neat at all. You don't need to be. Add the water to the paint, get it very watery. Honestly, the more watery your paint is, the better this will work. Hopefully you can see this okay. If you don't think you have it watery enough, you can add a little bit of extra water to it. And now take Saran wrap. Stuff never comes off the roll the way you want it to. Bunch it up and lay it down. Okay. And it's really important that you bunch it up and don't just lay it down. All right. Well, basically, we're going to cover the whole thing. For purposes of time tonight, I'm not going to do that. But, okay. Why water it down? The reason you water it down is because we don't want the solid color. For some reason, the more watered down the paint is, the better this works. But what you'll do, you'll cover your entire page with Saran wrap. Let it completely dry. And then once you do, once it dries, and what I did to dry the one I did before tonight, I lifted the page and used a heat gun like this. I did that just to dry it a little bit on the back. You don't really want to put your heat gun directly to the Saran wrap, or you know what happens when plastic burns. It smells terrible and it'll probably ruin your art journal. But let it completely dry. Once you do that, remove your Saran wrap. You can see a little bit of this here in just the spots that I put the Saran wrap down. And you see the different effects that you get into the paint. Mine's going to drip a little bit because it's not dry. Once you've done that and it's completely dry, you want to take a brayer with some watered down gesso or white acrylic paint. The heat gun shrinks the wrap. Yeah, it does that. But if you leave it on there too long, it will burn the plastic wrap. So I usually just keep it from a distance, or I dry it from the back. So after you've done that, after you've pulled off your Saran wrap, you're going to take out a brayer or a plastic card, an old credit card, bank card, or gift card works great. And you're going to add a little bit of watered down gesso or white paint over top of it. And you don't have to do that. I like to do it because it will mute the background colors a little bit and allow you to see what it is we're going to put on top. The next thing you're going to do is take a pen or a marker or a pencil if you prefer. I used a very fine Sharpie. Now you want to make sure your page is entirely dry first. You're going to close your eyes and scribble all over your page for just a minute or so. After you do that, open your eyes and look. It's very interesting to see what you've scribbled, and it's probably not going to make a whole lot of sense. What I find really amazing about this particular close your eyes doodle is that your mood really affects it. I find that when I'm in a bad mood, I'm angry, I'm pissed off about something, my lines tend to be more jagged or straight. When I'm in a better mood or more mellow or not feeling well, my lines are more loopy. So when I did this exercise the other day, I saw a whale in it. What I'd like you to do after you try this at home, look at your doodle and try to find an animal, an image, a flower, a picture. Try to see what you can see in your doodles. If you need to add a line or two, that's okay, but try not to add too much to it because you want to go with what came out of you blindly. So once you find your image, go ahead and color it in, paint it in. As I said, I found the whale, and granted, this is not museum quality art, but that's okay because it's for me, and yours will be just for you. So after I found my whale, I then went to the good old Google, good old internet, and looked up what does a whale mean in imagery. And I found that a whale as a spiritual animal was the keeper of history. He's peaceful. He represents strength, awareness, physical and emotional healing, spirituality. So on the rest of my doodles, I wrote all those words. To finish my page, I simply just did some doodles and a little Zentangle on the sides and just made it my own. So you can see, and there will be a picture on the PDF of exactly how we went through this. But use your doodle and see what you can find out of it. See if there's meaning in it. See if there's an animal, if there's an image. Let's say you find a moon in yours. Look up the meaning for what a moon could be and try to use that as a guide. So maybe it's your intuition telling you something. So there will be complete instructions for this art journal page and the closed eye doodles with the saran wrap in the PDFs that you get afterward. And before we wrap things up, we have just a little more business to go through. And of course, we have to draw a winner. So before we go ahead and go on to the Q&A, tell me what your takeaways were tonight. What did you enjoy the most and what didn't you like so much? And trust me, I can take it because I want to continue to offer webinars, and I want to make sure that you're getting incredible value out of them. So now, of course, we weren't able to really get too much into art techniques tonight, but I'm going to tell you soon how we're going to get to some more. So I'd love to hear your feedback from what we've covered so far tonight. Any questions? If you have any questions about anything we've talked about tonight or anything else, great. Awesome. You can use sandwich bags. That works just fine. I wish we had more time tonight too. How did I feel about my self-exercise? Me personally, went too fast. I will definitely keep that in mind. I do have a tendency to talk fast. Great. Okay. All right. Well, I want to share with you something before we do our drawing, and I'll see if we have any more questions first. Fabulous. I am so happy. Great. Yes, if you logged in as a guest, you'll still have a chance to win. What I've done is in a separate window, I have the chat open, and pardon me, it has who's on the call or who's on the webinar, and it shows even if you're a guest. And then I'm going to go to random.org, and it's going to tell me which of our guests won. So if you are a winner, it will just tell me what guest number you are. Great. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So excited. Yes, I used acrylic paint. I just watered it down. I just find that that really makes it work. Awesome. Great. Well, let me just share a little bit of one more thing with you, and then we're going to have the drawing because I know you guys want to know who's getting the free art stuff. And in that box of art supplies, there will be embellishments and washi tape and paint and stencils and stamps. Whew. So somebody's going to win a nice box. Okay. If you liked tonight, and I really hope you did, I'd like you to consider joining me in transforming your heart through art. And it's a 4-week class that I'm going to be doing. It's going to allow you to dig deeper. Each week, we'll have a 60 to 90-minute private webinar, and it's a lot different than the other art journaling courses out there. We're going to incorporate more art exercises. We're going to be doing complete art journal pages. We are going to give everybody tons of resources, PDFs surrounding our topic of the week, and art journaling. Tonight, we really didn't have a chance to cover many art techniques, but in Transform the Heart Through Art, we'll be doing at least 2 new art techniques every week. There's a private area on the website only for participants in the Transform Your Heart Through Art. And that's where they'll be able to go in to see the videos, to get in our live sessions, to chat with other participants. They'll be recorded every week, so if you're unable to make it live, you can go back and watch it or rewatch it if you want to get a technique down or you need to see again just how it went. We'll have a topic that we'll explore. One week it'll be self-love, one week it might be fear, but each week we'll focus on a different topic. We'll explore it through art journaling. We'll learn new art background techniques. We'll have art journal prompts. We'll have art journal exercises, art therapy exercises. There'll be worksheets to help you dig deeper. There's a members-only Facebook group, daily posts and interaction. I'm happy to provide feedback on any of the art that you share in our private members group. And there'll be bonus content on art journaling and art techniques and backgrounds and more. And every week there'll be a giveaway for art supplies to those members in the group. So as a thank you for attending tonight, if you register for Transform the Heart Through Art by Sunday night, midnight Central Time, you're going to get a bonus free 30-minute session with me where in advance you'll fill out a worksheet and tell me what it is you want to explore, and I'll give you individual art exercises for whatever it is that you want to work on. If you have a decision to make, if you're dealing with trauma, if you're dealing with overcoming a fear, with sadness, anything at all, and I will give you a free 30-minute clarity session with individualized art exercises and techniques just for you. And that's if you sign up before Sunday night. So that is a $47 value. So you're getting that just as a bonus because I'm so appreciative of you being here tonight. So how do you sign up? How do you get to be part of Transform the Heart Through Art? There is a link in the email tonight that I will be sending you, but you'll go to irreversibly.com, irreversiblymoi.com. I don't know the name of my own website. Go to Work and Play with Me and click on Transform the Heart Through Art, and you'll get all the goodies there. You'll find out everything that I've just shared with you, find out how to be a part of it. The class starts on Monday, January 19th, so you have about 10 days to get in on it. We're limiting the amount of people we're putting in so we can have an individual tight group and a really good experience without having too many there. So be sure to register early so you don't miss out. And again, if you register by Sunday night, then you're going to get that free 30-minute bonus session with me. I really appreciate all you being here tonight. And I'm so thankful that you chose to spend your Thursday night with me. And if you'll give me just 2 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and use random.org and find our winner. I'm waiting for it to add up how many people are here. Awesome. Okay. All right. 1 second. Okay. Looks like we have a winner. Okay. The winner is, are you ready? Kimberly Miller. Congratulations, Kimberly. Congratulations. You are our winner. So be sure to email me at irreversiblymoi@gmail.com so that I can get your prize box out to you of awesome art supplies. When we hang up tonight, I'm going to send you all an email with the recording from tonight, with all of your PDFs, with a link to tell you more about Transform the Heart Through Art. And I thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure talking about art and sharing with you, and I wish you a wonderful night. Good night.